I strongly believe that women can improve the fate of women, but the fate of the world, and they can do that at whichever level they are. They don't need to be the head of the IMF. They can do it in their own circle, whatever they do. So, I asked myself when I joined the IMF, what can I do to improve the fate of women, and can the IMF make a difference? So I enlisted the support of other women, which is something that I strongly encourage, whatever you do. But I also enlisted the support of some of my male economists, generally the fathers of daughters, and sometimes just genuinely highly motivated men who believe that women's rights are human's rights, and vice versa. And we produced that. Now that's the hard copy, but the good news is that information we share. And if you go to imf.org and search for gender, you will find that study which is called Women, Work and the Economy. And essentially what it does is it proves the case that by bringing the woman to the economy, by opening access to the job market, by making sure that they have equal standing in the workforce, the economy can gain massively. And the economy can gain in very high percentage points. Probably higher in the Middle East and Northern Africa, where the participation gap of women is the highest. But also in countries like Japan, like Korea, where the participation of women as recorded is relatively lower. But also in countries like Myanmar, where the participation of women is hardly measured because there is so much informal economy and so little measurements of how much they contribute and what they do. So we produced that study, and it is produced under the auspices of the IMF, which actually makes a difference because people pay attention. And frankly, the learnings from that is it makes sense economically, and it boils down to lots of policies. Tax policies, attention to details. I'll give you two examples. I was with Korean women a couple of days ago, and the participation of Korean women is very low relative to that of men. And whenever they participate, the salaries are not the same. Some of them had pushed for the concept of child care centers, which is a policy endorsed by the Japanese government at last. Well, those that wanted to do that soon found out that there were lots of obstacles: urban regulation, health and safety regulations, zoning regulations, that made it virtually impossible for private entities to actually open childcare centers. First example. Second example, in the area of tax. There are some countries today that define the tax household as a household. What's the consequences of it? Well, the spouse who is joining the workforce, predominantly women, do not get any tax incentive when they go to work. Whereas if the tax scheme and the household definition was that of an individual, then the encouragement would be a lot stronger. Those are small things, but they are technical and practical things that have to be adopted. Third and last example, Olivier, is that of the flex time working status. In many countries, the flexible time status is a discrimination against those who elect to take flex time, men or women. Predominantly it's women. So by making the flex time status non-discriminatory, equal for the equal hours of work done, is actually an encouragement to those who want to elect for that kind of arrangement. It's been the case in the Netherlands, it's been the case in Sweden, for instance, where the success is actually tangible and measurable.